Good morning, children. In the class 10th, we are discussing about autotrophic nutrition and we are discussing the photosynthesis and its factors. There are four important factors occur in a photosynthesis. The first one, we discussed that water. What is the topic? Factors of photosynthesis. Okay, first one is water, second one is carbon dioxide. So what is carbon dioxide? Air. What is water? H2O. Third one is light, that you know very well. Fourth one is chlorophyll. Chlorophyll. These are the four important factors that we find as a factors of photosynthesis. Water and chlorophyll means first one and fourth one is called as internal factors. Internal factors. Whereas the air and light, as they are not present inside the cell, called as what? External factors. External factors. In the TS syllabus class 10, they have given one by one water as a factor and what is its importance. Air is a factor, that is carbon dioxide. What is its importance? So today let us try to understand these two and later we will discuss the other factors, that is water and carbon dioxide or air. So in the previous classes we were discussing plants don't eat the soil. In the previous classes or in the olden days, the people were thinking that plant eats the soil present and it will grow. But Van Helmont was the person did an experiment and finalized that plants require minerals, not entire soil, just minerals from it, and it will take carbon dioxide and water from the soil. Due to combining these two means photosynthesis and make the plants to grow. Make the plants to grow. So it is the importance of the water. So water helps in growth of a plant, told by Van Helmont. So earlier simply we discussed what the Van Helmont experiment tells about. Simply we can say plants by utilizing water and carbon dioxide prepare food and grow. They don't eat the soil. The second important factor today we are going to discuss is air. So plants require air. Until or unless some great scientist work, we cannot finalize that was carbon dioxide. So many children, they think that animals take oxygen and release carbon dioxide, plants take carbon dioxide and release oxygen. Yes, it is true, but the processes and names are different, children. We are respiring. For the sake of respiration, we are taking oxygen in and eliminating carbon dioxide out. But plants are taking carbon dioxide not for the sake of respiration. It is very important. They are taking carbon dioxide in for what I have to say, photosynthesis. So carbon dioxide required for photosynthesis. Plants also take oxygen for respiration. As we don't perform photosynthesis, we require only oxygen for respiration. But plants require both gases, oxygen as well as carbon dioxide. This distinguished point, you have to understand that the respiration taking place in animals, but carbon dioxide taking by plants is not a respiration process, it is a photosynthesis. Plants also respire like us by taking oxygen. This is very important point you have to note. Then all these things how it has explained. Until or unless the great scientist Priestley, Joseph Priestley's experiment, we didn't understand how the exchange of gases takes place within the plant and from its surroundings. He conducted one experiment. In your textbook they have given a bell jar experiment. Bell jar experiment. In this bell jar experiment, what he did, he took a bell jar like this. In this bell jar, earlier he kept a candle which is lit up. Along with that, he placed one rat in it, and he put the bell jar over it where no exchange of gases takes place, tightly packed in the jar. After some time, the candle put off and produced flames, which is a dark color one. You can say smoke. And the rat itself suffocated and fell down. Means what happened, children? Something in the jar, the gas utilized, and that gas is over completed. Due to that gas reduction, the candle is put off, and the rat also suffocated, and it is fell down. It did not die, but it is fell down in unconscious condition. But where in the next arrangement of a bell jar, the Priestley kept one mint plant in a bell jar. Along with this, what I would say, put off candle and suffocated rat. Until or unless we don't know, after some time, the Joseph Priestley lit the candle without disturbing the set. I also found in the internet, I didn't get the answer for this. So this is the importance of scientists, how they lit up this candle without opening it. But he did it. Something will be there. You search in the internet. I will also try my level best to find out how he lit up this candle without disturbing the set. After some time, after inserting or another setup, we took set 1, set 2, if you take an example, he lit up this candle from outside and it started what? Again burning. The suffocated fell down rat again become active. So what is happening? Whatever the gas emptied by a candle released in a jar, utilized by the plant and released the same gas. For example, gas A is utilized and lit off by this, put it off by this candle into B. So utilized A, produced B. The plant now utilized B and produced back what? A. So because of this reason, again he lit up this one and it has become active. After this experiment, the exchange of gases, Lavoisier, the scientist, named this gas which is producing by the plant as oxygen. The animal and what I would say, candle producing carbon dioxide by utilizing the oxygen. The plant is. The important statement given in this experiment, last of the para, very important. What he said, the Joseph Priestley finalized this statement. You have to remember for 1 mark. Plants in a jar or plant in a jar or anywhere restore, very important term, children. Plants restore what? The candle and